This beautiful evening of World Peace at Kiran Nadar Museum of Art. And what better than this? And I congratulate you for your contribution and engagement into this political peace dialogue for SAARC. I also thank you for your time that you've given me today and you're going to give us for another 2 hours. I know a lot of you already think I'm mad, including my own husband who's at home today. I must say thank you to him because he's looking after my babies. And they allow me to work for World Peace, and that's their contribution in that. And there have also been a lot of valid questions as to what is World Peace, what is she doing, why is she doing this, how is she going to make it sustainable, how does she make money. These are some very valid questions. And also complaints from my friends. I've disappeared for a long time. I was not available, including. I think I'm back and I'm glad that we all made through pandemic together. And God has given us a beautiful opportunity to redesign our lives. And in that redesign, I think I'm just making an effort to redesign a bright and future and peaceful SAARC. And I'll tell you, I was launched into world peace space because I have seen the absence of world peace, which really is real madness. And that madness is something that I have seen on the streets of Jammu and Kashmir as a child. And that madness I continue to see in the world, around the world, and of course in my own region in SAARC. So you will say, why SAARC? And I'll tell you, because charity begins at home. And home is where your heart is. Home is where you share your ancestral genetics, history, language, and several other things. And that is bleeding right now. If you see the reality of SAARC, it's very scary. It's not the most conducive environment to be in for anyone or any future leader. And I'll give you an example of Indian economy, which is we are a emerging nation, but we struggle with poverty, hunger, and disease. We have a failed regime in Afghanistan. Sri Lanka filed for bankruptcy. We have just enough and struggling Nepal, Bhutan, and Bangladesh. And we have a disappearing Maldives because of the environmental degradation and climate change. And if these things are not addressed and accepted and just internalized as good civilians and good citizens of this country and this region, I think will have repercussions, and that's right coming ahead of us. So this absence of communication has really worried me, and we have seen that in a systematic failure of economic interdependence in SAARC. You can see that, you can witness it amongst all the regional countries today. And as some of them and most of them are very political in nature, and I think that is something only governments can address. I think as good citizens, we have an opportunity to help Sri Lanka, which is in economic crisis. And in our entrepreneurial spirit, we must do something to save a dying economy. While I say that today, I don't know, but I must share this with you that India itself spends about $70 billion, between $60 and $70 billion, defending borders and partitioned land. That to me is insanity. That to me is real madness. And SAARC as an entire region must be crossing about $90 billion. So just imagine, that's the kind of money, that's the kind of insanity that's going on. So mad is not me, but mad is that political institution and that government who's not addressing this problem and not giving us a united South Asia. And so today, on behalf of the innocent people of South Asia and the sleeping population, I want to awaken, arise, and appeal the political institutions and the government to come forward. And I want India to take lead and find common grounds of communication and dialogue and see how they can build resilience, how they can build their capacity to solve that with tolerance and patience and lead us out of this real bad times which are coming ahead of us. So how are we going to do that? What are we doing? When you leave today, you are going to get a docket from our office, and that tells you what we've done, what we intend to do, etc. And we have subject matter experts here today with me who are going to tell us what we can do, how we can come together as leaders, as thought leaders, as innovators, as change makers, and do something in our individual capacity and give back to SAARC. For Sri Lanka, today I welcome my friend. He's an economist. He's the founder of Insolve Lanka, and of course the secretary at the Harvard Club of Sri Lanka. Besides that, he's also a consulate of Cote d'Ivoire. He's going to rekindle hope and tell us what are the opportunities in Sri Lanka and what we can do. I welcome you, Sharan. Thank you for coming all the way from Sri Lanka, and I appreciate your presence today. We also have with us Samir Shah, who's going to join us virtually from Europe. He right now has launched a 100 million sustainability fund, and he's an advocate and ambassador of ESG framework, and he's absolutely very, very passionate about something that I'm passionate about, which is green hydrogen. And so this is something which is very novel, and we do not have much knowledge about it. I think it was just an opportunity for us to listen to him, though he will be virtual, and we'll listen to him at last. But he'll tell us what are the opportunities of economic interdependence when it comes to energy, and how we can lead as country, as Asia, in this world. And we have with us Ashish Kumar today, my very dear friend, and of course, an editor with ABP News, Foreign Affairs. Ashish and I share similar thought process on peace and dialogue and sustainability. Ashish and I will have a discussion on what are the trade-offs the governments must have, or what are the trade-offs that the governments must identify in order to open dialogue, and what they should do. We also have with us a leader today who's very passionate about business and trade in South Asia, my friend, an alumnus from Harvard Business School, Saurabh Shah. Saurabh, I welcome you, and thank you for your support and your presence today. I also would like to say thank you to Ashwini. I think he's yet not reached. There's a lot of traffic in Gurgaon. Founder of Prozo is a logistics company and supply chain. They were a startup. I'm very proud of him that they've raised about 70 crores from a fund called Six Senses Venture. What I like about their model is that they're also looking into going back into sustainability, and that's something that I really promote. And he's always promoted our world peace from day one. So he's not here, but thank you, Ashwini, wherever you are. And last but not least, and before we start the evening with the conversation, I wanted to thank the very special people in my life who, if they were not there and they didn't listen to me and they didn't empower me, I think I wouldn't have the confidence to stand in front of you today and talk about South and South Asia.